dangerous, but AI with people first is powerful. This is where impact era steps in. We help people understand. We help teams adapt. We help organizations move forward responsibly. From confusion to clarity, from fear to skill, from doubt to confidence. People first, future forward. Copilot beside us, impact era guiding the way. Machine, empowered by
Or good evening, everyone. I hope that inspiration that we are all towards people and the future forward, and who better to speak about it, right? Driving adoption on Copilot, and we've got Miss Femka. She's a Microsoft MVP, Chief Copilot at Hotel. She is very well recognized in most of the Copilot and end user productivity suite. And she's been a part of, she's got so much of a collection and communities assistance she provides, which is why she is the best person to kickstart this Road to Riyadh season. And amazing, we've got people across the region joining in, Febka. Thank you very much for joining in, and we look forward to having a great session.
Thank
I'm
you so
Zafla
much.
Hashim. Thank you.
Mhm. Great. Thank you so much for the great introduction. And I love the music that you did in the beginning because it's all about people, right? I think you will see that back in the video as well. It's all about people and how can technology can help us. And there's one thing that
Exactly.
I actually saw in the beginning in the conversation for the people who are not already there. There was someone who told us that he's blind and using Copilot by sending all the emails and sending all the information that for these events. And I think it's great to see that this kind of solutions can help people making next steps. So first of all, thank you that I'm here. I'm really happy to share my knowledge, and I think community is wonderful to share the knowledge that we all have with each other. I also need to say, next time I really want to come over, I want to do it in not online, but want to come over and meet some people. But yes, we're going to talk about Copilot. And before I'm opening my slides and want to share more, I really want to engage a little bit with you and want to know where you stand in your Copilot journey. So, first of all, who of you using only Copilot chats and the free version? Raise your hands or give something like a smiley or a popping up or some one. Okay, no, a little bit. Who of you has also a Copilot licensing? So I see two people now have Copilot licensing and use M365 Copilots. Three. So you have a paid licensing and yeah, four. Good. Will of you has a Copilot licensing, but as well using Cowork. One, yeah, good. I see a few. So before I start, the thing that we have learned in the last like 2.5 years that we're using Copilot, and it's there in the market, that we see everyone is in a different area and everyone learning from a different side way or knowing what Copilot is, or is in a journey in the beginning, or is it way forward and using it a lot of years already. but a lot of things changing every day. And sometimes I say as well, we are in sort of like popcorn machine because every day there are new things coming out and every day we need to learn. And I think this is the new reality as well. We are in a new world that every day new things coming out and we need to learn and accept that every day new things are there. And especially one of the things that I have learned is sometimes I'm building things from scratch, like an agent or something like that. And then like the day after I see something popping up in the Microsoft store or in the agent's place that it's out of the box. And yeah, that's things that happen. And I also think that technology in the future will be for everyone available, but also for everyone who are building now the technology is all your other companies or other companies that you work with or your competitors will also have the same technology in the future. So I think we're coming back there in the way how we redesigning our processes, how we work together with AI, but as well in our people and who we are as a company, who we are with the people that we work with. So I think that's the real difference between only putting technology in your company. And I think the difference will be if you say, yeah, let's think about how we can work on a different kind of way, who we are as a company, who are our humans, and how can we add AI in the way that it can be even better. So I'm a chief transformation officer at Bordeaux. And what I am doing is I transform our internal organization. And I really love to share a little bit about how that's going because I'm working at a technology company. You can understand a lot of people want to build a lot of things with AI. And a lot of things there is also something that we think it has priority. So my lessons learned is think about your priorities in your organization and build on that. So prioritization is really something that you need to learn and always need to add on the AI way of working. So particularly now I'm going to talk about Copilot. And I also think it's good to mention that I think there are three pilots about Copilots. We talk about personal productivity, we talk about team productivity, and we talk about enterprise. And Copilot is the first bucket when we talk about personal productivity. It's most of all, it's that you and your Copilot working together and gives you more personal productivity. Team, that's more on the Copilot Studio. So it's not only you as a person, but you want to work together with your team. And if you are leaving the company, for example, you really want to build that on foundation of the team, that it keeps going, even if you are not there. And then I'm talking about enterprise, and enterprise is something that you need to govern, and you need to say, okay, our solutions need to be in there. It's our gold mine, it's our data that is structured. That is what we talk about enterprise. Now, I'm going to talk about today Copilot. So I'm going to talk a lot about the personal productivity way. But also as well, I really want to talk about co-work because I think co-work is a thing that people use now a lot for their personal productivity. But sometimes you also see that they are creating things that need to be in the team environments. So they're creating skills, they're sharing it with their colleagues, but sometimes it's better to think about, okay, is it something that we need to build in a Copilot Studio, for example, with some automation flows behind it? And what we see is when you talk about Copilot and co-work and the personal productivity way is that people always think about we can do things faster. We can do things way faster than we did before. And yes, it's a good thing, but you don't change your organization and your way of working by doing things only faster. And even not if it's on your personal productivity way. It's good. You always can do that, but think about by looking way farther than only that. So that's my first tips and advice around Copilot's personal productivity, team productivity, and enterprise. Now I'm going to share my screen. And then, of course, I also want to do some demos in it. I know we have a lot of people with different kind of areas. So let me see. Someone is saying something. Let me see if I can share my screen. Almost. There we go. Yes. So the thing we see, I think everyone is seeing now, right? Can I get a thumbs up that everyone is still awake and see it? Yes, great. Thank you. So first of all, I think when we're talking about not only Copilot, but also co-work, is that we're going to change from an assistant to more like a colleague. So I have a colleague of mine who is using Copilot's co-work. It's someone who's doing all our projects. She works, for example, 36 hours, but she is doing almost 30 projects. How can she do that? She works together with architects. She works together with sales. She works together with our advisors. She works together with adoption people. She works like she's the spin in everything around projects. So what she's doing is using Copilot versus Cowork in a way that she is thinking by the beginning and their end results. So all the meetings that she have, she take her transcripts and keep use Cowork to make the next steps and let Copilot work for her. She actually has a new colleague, an AI colleague. It's a Cowork colleague that is a junior project manager. So what we see now with Cowork, when it's more pay as you go, you're going to see that you need to make some choices about, do we want to invest in this tool, but also, do we want to have a new project manager there, junior one, or do we need to use Copilot Cowork for helping her doing more projects? And it's an interesting way of thinking about Copilot versus Cowork. What we're going to see, or what we're seeing now, is that we're going even more from repeating to reasoning. So it's not only that I'm asking Copilot a question and I get an answer back, but we're also going to think, what is the end goal that we wanna have? So I was in Barcelona a few weeks ago. I went there for a half day. I spoke with 5 customers and I put on my facilitator agent on and I asked 3 questions. First question was, what do you think about this week? We were at an event. What is the next thing that you want to invest in? Was my second question. And the third question was, what do you think about Wortel, the company that I work for? So I had 5 customers, 3 questions. And then I traveled back to the airport and I took the transcript out and I said, send me an email, send an email to our board, send an email to our marketing with a blog version, a blog version for our website. And I ask, send an update to all of our account managers of this, of our customers. It's like a half day, 3 questions, 5 different customers, and a lot of different people were involved, knowing what are the next steps of the customers, but as well publication on the website with all the things that people have learned. So it's interesting when you're working with Copilot and not think about only the perspective I'm asking a question, but also thinking, what are my next steps? So every time when I have a meeting, for example, we have our meeting here, I can get out the transcripts, I can make a post around it, I can make a presentation around it, I can make my next steps around it. But it's the mindset of thinking about outcomes. And if you know that outcomes now in co-work is something that you need to pay for, you really need to think really good how you want to get to your outcome and really have a good prompt to get there and understand that you pay something for something, that you also get the right outcome, because otherwise it's spending money for nothing. So what we're also going to see is that when we talk about automation, we're going more to orchestration. So it's more on the agent's part. So think about, when do I need to have a co-work, or do I want to build my own agents? And can I build my agent in orchestration? I think everyone is in a different journey at the moment. And Microsoft is saying when we talk about the frontier firm, is that we have a human with an assistant, human-led agents, and agents executed work. Now, we see that, for example, like the third one, the co-work, is something that can do things for you. For example, that you say, okay, give me all the tasks about yesterday, the meetings that I had, and make a concept mail for me with all the tasks that I need to do. It gives you a lot of information, things that you said at meetings. And it's really helping you with your next steps. But of course, the cost is again something that you need to think about. Oh, something is someone's there. I think like human with an assistant, that is really co-pilots. Like you are the one who asks the questions, you get something back. But we're really going way more in, okay, what can actually co-work do for me, for my week, for my meetings to prepare, but also for next steps. I really, really, really never, ever doing anything anymore by searching someone's agenda. I just say to cowork, please give me some options with this and this and this colleagues. This is what I wanna discuss, and I want it in 2 or 3 weeks. Find me a space in the agenda, and also look at my colleagues' agenda, but also look at what is the best day. This is my skill, and the skill is the things that I know about me. That I'm, for example, always on Wednesday I'm at home because I need to pick up my kids, for example. It knows that from me, and also looking at, okay, does he already have other meetings at the same day? So we need to learn to give more context to our co-pilots. And now we have as well co-pilots, work IQ in co-pilots. So it's learning already by everything that you're doing based on your email, based on your chats, based on your Teams chats, based on every activity that you're doing already. But you can give it even more. So you can say, for example, make a skill, and I can share it later. Make a skill about that. It always needs to type and always need to do something in your email or in your Teams chats in your voice. So it's kind of learning from you how you think, how you want that you talk to different kind of people. So, for example, when I'm talking with our CEO, I'm talking on a different way to our CEO than I'm talking, for example, with another colleague. I always want to have the results there. I always want fast forward. I always give him a short email and not too long with too much things that I'm thinking. I just want to make it shorter, and that it's easy to scan. So you also can think about what kind of audience do I want to have, what kind of communication. And if you don't know that, you can also then ask your co-pilot, for example, to analyze the communication style of your colleagues. So I can ask that and I get information back. So if someone is an analyzer, for example, you can learn that that person needs to have more details. So you can ask to have Copilot as a coach there and helping you with that to get more people involved on a better way. If someone is like more a red person, he's always in front, you can say, okay, this is something that you can do. And you're learning what people really like. So it's interesting to think about that as well, not only building faster, but also involving people, get there on the right space, but also learning how to get things done from Copilot side, but also from cowork. Well, a few things that I think I'm just going to share a little bit, a few things, because I really like to do that even more and go to talk. A few things that I want to say is Microsoft is going to an even more way that you doesn't matter where you are at the moment in your Copilot. It's going even more together. So you have your Anthropic models in, you'll have your ChatGPT in models, but also Mistral is there, the European one. So you can choose what kind of models do you want to use in Copilots. The other thing is that you also see that there are more integration with different kind of connectors. And I love to share something about that. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, not the right screen. I think this one is good. Yes, so here we are. So there are a lot of things that we most of the time don't use or don't know that it's there. So I love to share some insights there. So for example, sales. Copilot sales is something that you can use. For example, it's in a frontier right now, but for example, what you can use and can put on is that you know everything about your customer. So if you have dynamics, you can have all your dynamics information. You can ask what are the open opportunities, but also when you have a meeting with your customer, you know who is this customer? What are the open opportunities? What are the people that I'm talking with? Is this the right people that I need? Can they make them decisions? But also you can say, okay, the transcript, I want to have it in dynamics. So the thing that you can do here is that you can ask, give me the open opportunities in dynamics. So this is something that, you get a lot of interaction with even more things. So not only Teams, not only your emails, but also simply like Dynamics. And you can choose others as well. Always see something like that doesn't work right now. Let me see, retry. Okay, let me see if I have someone here that I can share. I will do it later. There also is, for example, researcher agents. And I don't know if you already using it, but I'm absolutely in love with researcher agents. And you can research, for example, if you have an Excel, two Excels, and you want to compare with each other. But also you want to say, okay, I want to have the results of this case study, or I had a customer and I had a project, but I also have another project. Can we get all the information about it and what went well, what doesn't went well, where can we learn from? So it's doing a lot of research, but also you can put analyze agents there as well. So first you do some research, then you analyze, or the other way around. But the thing is that I really like here is that you can choose the model. So you can use automation, critic, but also Claude. So you can choose the model that you want, but you also can say model counting, so it can choose both. And you can choose what you want, what the best one is for you. I did both. So just go. And you give some response from like the both LLMs. And the nice thing is that you don't have to choose. You see in here, it's working, but it's doing for you. A lot of us are thinking that when I'm coming back there later, we have, of course, let me see if it's coming. I'm missing something. Okay, well, here you see the different kind of models, and most of all using auto model, because what kind of task you have, Copilot is searching what the best model is. But I think we need to learn for ourselves as a person what is the best model to use by what kind of task that we want to do. And I saw something that I always need to laugh about is, for example, when you ask, like, I want to wash my car and it's 1 kilometer away. Shall I walk or shall I drive? Well, you see difference there as well in the model still about what is the best thing to do. So you really need to understand, are we going to create, for example, like a PowerPoint? Then it's better to use Clause. Or do I want to generate some text? Now, most of all, it's better to use, at this moment, I think, ChatGPT 5.5 or Fable. Or so it's interesting to think about what is the best model by using, but also testing it out. And the nice thing is when you're using the compare model counting, it's give you 2 different kind of um, responses, and you can choose and you learn from it as well. It's giving now a report. SQL conversion to areas, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, Netherlands. So it gives me a report about that. And you see Claude is doing much longer. We're coming back there later as well. So it's interesting to learn about what is the best LLM that we can choose, but as well, what is the task that I want to do? And I always think about, okay, I'm really starting from a transcript, and you can do that by using this, and then meetings, and then you can choose your meeting and get out the transcript there. There are a lot of people going back to the agenda and then going to the recap, and then they have the transcript, and then they download it. But you can just ask here, give me all the open task, or give me an email. It's really easy to do it from this side. So we had a researcher. Let me see how far that is right now. It's doing research about still doing. We have the analyst, so it's more for analyzing data, but also searching on the web. Then I want to share some more. For example, the prompt codes. This is really interesting when you want to have a better prompt, and I think it's not always easy for us to make great prompts to say, what is the input? What do I really want to achieve? This is the information that needs to be in. Act like me as a person, as a marketer, for example. This is the results that I really want to have. I really like the bottom here by speaking, and I heard it earlier today. You can speak the whole day with Copilot, but it gives you even more information than when you type. And when you use the prompt codes, it gives you suggestions to make your prompt even better. And this is a way, really nice some way of learning. And you can use it in your chats. So help me generate a prompt to be used in Copilot. Well, it's working now. Let's see. So what is the goal for the prompts? Well, drafts, an email. Boop. Well, it's helping you with the goal, the propose, and all the steps that you need to have like a good prompt. So if you're starting with Copilot, this is really interesting to use. I'm going to the next one. So I've talked about sales. It has a combination with Dynamics. It can search in Dynamics, but also gives you information about the meetings that you have. So if you have customer meetings, you see them all here in the agents. Yes. this is what I want to share now. Okay, back to Copilot itself. And you also see here the bottom of researcher and analyst. So you don't always have to go to the agents. You also can put it on here, and then you're doing the researcher agent as well. You can compose it to Excel, PowerPoints. You can add on your content, also your OneDrive experience. And on top of here, you see web and work. So if you don't want to have a work environment, you also can use only the web interface. Designer, so if you want to make a design, an image, or I don't know, like a LinkedIn diagram or something like that, it's nice to use that. You can also add all your agents. So if you have some agents here, or even more agents that you make by yourself, you can put it there. So if you want to, for example, make an Excel, it's use the Excel agent. So it creates an even better Excel file for you if you're starting from this chat fencer. Then going back, I really like to share something about Cowork. And when I'm talking about Cowork, you can have some task and something that you can say, I want this every day again. And if you're doing, for example, every day, scanning my email box and give me concepts or first concepts about my emails that are there every day. So you can do it, for example, every on 8 o'clock, or for example 1 o'clock, and maybe on 5 o'clock. And scanning all your emails and give a first concept. I see a lot of people doing that, but you really need to think about the costs as well. And it's nice to finding that out by seeing what are the costs for that. So for example, if I'm looking to, let me say this, transcripts. I have here a concept email with actions about a concept email and I want to send it to a colleague. What it's doing is reading the transcript. So it's a document that I put in earlier. You see it here, discovery call, transcripts, references. And then I can say, okay, I need to send to Maria. It's searching for my skill. What have my email voice? And then it's making a piece here. So what it's doing, what we already heard in the discovery call. So it's put on in my Outlook a concept email with all the information that we had discussed, but as well, because I wanted to have as well a PowerPoint, it also creates a PowerPoint, and you see it at the output, but also by the references that I put in. And if you go here, you can see the OneDrive folder. So everything that you create is going to be stored in the OneDrive folder. And you also see some skills and some plugins. So you get already some skills from Microsoft Excel, with, for example, PowerPoint skill. But I created my email voice. So I ask here, create a skill about my, I did about my email, but you can say about my communication style. What is it doing is going to ask me some questions, but you also can think about your skill can be that you always want to have PowerPoint in different kind of ways, like colors, because it's your brand color, or you always need to make a report and always need to have this structure. So if you ask, for example, Copilot or Cowork the same things over and over, you can make even better a skill. So it's knowing that if I'm saying something about communication, or if I'm doing something around communication, then it knows that it needs to have my skill. And it's popping up and it's learning from it. The thing that I see a lot, for example, if I'm going back to the project manager, is that you need to create all the time skills and make the skills even better. So you can share it with your colleagues as well. It's in your OneDrive system, OneDrive there. But also from Claude, we can say, okay, we can talk about Copilot all the time, but we know a lot of people also use Claude. You can add in your Claude skills as well. And I think in the future, we will see that we're going to migrate also not only documents, but also a lot of skills in different kind of environments. So skills is something that you really need to have together in one place. So what I do at Wortel is asking people to generate a skill map with every team, that everyone can learn from each other, and that we're creating the same skills as well from company information about how we are as a company and how we want that people know about Wortel and what are our things that we are special at Wortel, or what are we delivering, or what are we selling. It's all different kind of skills. You can put 50 skills in every person's environment, in every co-work, and then not even more than 50. So it's interesting to think about what are the best skills to get the best results. So it's still creating my communication style skill. Tasks. The tasks are here. Yeah, the things that I already asked earlier. So what is still there? And you will see if you go to use this even more, that you go to do different kind of ways, waiting about when something is done and coming back and see what are the results. That's an interesting thing to think about. What are you want to have back every day, for example? If you have every Friday need to run a report and you always need to send it to your manager, well, you can make it here. Then we see here the plugins. So you can choose Fabric IQ, so the data that you have on Fabric, or for example, Dynamics 365. Then we're talking about the Dynamics data. That's why it doesn't work earlier, I think. You also can upload some plugins and also the skills you can find here back. So I have now the communication style, email, voice, front-end design. So this is my demo environment, but it's really interesting to see all the skills here, and you can add on there as well. Good. Then I want to share some use cases. And I'm also looking to the time because I'm talking about this like hours. But I also want to share some great use cases over here. So the first one is I have my transcript and I'm doing next steps. The other one is that I say, okay, I have my customer meeting and I want to add it on a dynamics part. I think it's really interesting to see that. I also want this. Okay. Let me see if I can find something that I did earlier. I need to go work. Here we are. So I think we're all going to on vacation. I hope so. Some of us are already there. I heard that today. But I'm going to out of the office for 1.5 weeks. Build an office tracker to cover all of my ongoing projects and tasks and things that move while I'm gone. And well, you're going to send that who should I cover, and it's really interesting. It also creates auto reply. It views my calendar with all the things that I have in, so I don't need to go through everything. And what you also see is it views calendar lists, and it makes a project meeting landscape, internal, external. So it's going to see what are the touch points that I have this week. And then it's going to ask, okay, when are you really going away? What do I need to do with it? And I can ask, for example, make an Excel tracker, or I can say, just do it. So that's also a really nice use case. But I also can say, okay, I want to show you a little bit of how things are working. Make a meeting with Maria. I see that I have a typo, but it's still working. So this is also something that helps me a lot to see what other things that someone else has in their agenda, and it's going to make a meeting there. We're going back. Already go to the next, and I'm going to find out later how it went. I want to analyze my Outlook. Give me analyze. Give me a report. There we go. So back to Maria, seeing how far it is. Still looking for it. So the fun thing is that you don't do one thing, you're actually going to do a lot of things all the time, and it actually keep popping up. But it's also good to learn about a little bit about the costs. So this is going to run. Meeting is also, and it gives me some suggestions. So it doesn't put anything already in the agenda. You will see that it gives you some suggestions, and I can say, okay, Friday late in the morning, that's fine, for 30 minutes, and then I put it in. Also, the thing that you need to think about is that you can say, never ever email something from my name, always give me a concept. So this is the concept as well for agenda item, but it's also can do it actually right over. So I said, okay, I always want to have a concept. I always want to be the person in between. But if you doing, for example, send an email to all of my colleagues, it can be that it also is really going to send it. So it's really good to understand that you need to say always a concept. So I put it always in my prompt. But as well, I also said it in a few times, so he knows that it's always, if I forget to put it in my prompt, it always say, okay, can I send it, or do you want to approve this? If I just say you can always send it, it will never ask anymore, just do it. So it's nice to learn from that. I go back. So we made a communication style. We did some analysis of my Outlook, still there. I wanted to create a new personal skill. That's also working. Okay, so we did a new agenda item, and now I want to know what are the costs for this, because is it still worth it? That or do I need to do it by myself in the future? So it's 122 credits. And it means that it's €1, something like €1 to doing this. So it's actually really thinking about, okay, what is the cost and what is the outcome? I had today, like, for example, an Excel with all kind of names, and I don't had the emails. Well, I also put it there, and I say, okay, I want to have a meeting invite and find all the emails. Because otherwise I need to searching for over 100 emails, and then I put it in the agenda, and I was thinking, okay, I don't $2, great, keep going. But well, you need to still find a little bit about what's working. Another thing is, if you create, for example, your transcript, you put it in, and then you say, I want to make a PowerPoint presentation about it, you can think about something like $25 $30 for one presentation. So it's a lot of money. And that's why I'm saying it's you really need to think about the outcome, and is it worth it? But also think about what can I do in different kind of applications. So for example, in PowerPoint itself, there is a PowerPoint agent, but as well you can choose to create here your first PowerPoints. So you also can use the chat by saying, okay, I want to create a PowerPoint. It's not doing the next tasks. So it's learning when do it really need to make next steps for example, in your Outlook or in your email or in your Teams environments. But if it's not needed, you don't need to have co-work itself. You also can a lot of this kind of things in chat itself. Yeah, I think this is something that I wanted to share for now. I think a lot of opportunities. See if I have everything in here: the skills, the credits, the brands. Oh, and this is, for example, my Outlook to analyze. So I have 400 inbox, more than 400, 398 unread, 15 are new, and then what stands out. So I can ask now Copilot to give me and draft some replies. What are the most critical ones? And also say things that it like newsletters or something like that it can go away. I already did that one time, so I think they're almost away. But yeah, it's interesting that you can ask Copilot to do that. And if you are in an Edge browser, you also can combine with the browser. So you can do, for example, log in your LinkedIn environment, and you can ask about the subject that it's going to create in your LinkedIn, some content, or analyzing your LinkedIn, or another website that you want to browse or your ads. So you can create different kind of outside of your environment. You also can create some ways there if you're working together with Edge and with Cowork. And analyzing that, researching, but also can log in, for example, like systems as LinkedIn. So I really see that Copilot is a start point of different agents that you can create your personal, your co-work, but also when the costs are really high, or if your team is working together, you can think about Copilot Studio and create your agents over there. I think it's really interesting to think about your enterprise. So what are the things from your data part that is your gold mine, but also something that not need to be in just one person, but also is, for example, your deliverables or something that you want to sell in a new way, or that it's something that is like the governance secured. So that's something that you really need to think about. Also, data platform is really interesting to think about. And yeah, I think choosing between what kind of task or what for results is really good. For so far, I want to say thank you. I don't know if someone has some questions, please reach out on my LinkedIn or ask some questions here, and I will read it later as well. I really want to say thank you.
Thank you, Frank. There's one question out there. How to find each job in co-work consumes how many credits? Basically, he's asking, how do you find, based on skill, like which level charges? Is there different ways of tokenizing or charging?
Yeah, so it's different between which LLM, and it's also different between which scale you're using. So you really need to find out. But if you use the cost way, then you can see what it actually costs you. You can put you can say for your whole organization, this is what we want to put as an amount on it, and you can say, okay, this person can have like €3 or $300 or $50 they can spend, and they can learn about what a little bit about working with co-work. Also the anthropic models and all that kind of things you need to put on. but also it's something that you really need to find out what's your outcome, what is the things that you do, what's the learning from it. But how more skills you make, how easy your Copilot knows what you want to have for results. So I recommend people to make more and even more skills. So then the things that you like, you actually get even more. Yeah.
I think every investment that you put in, you need to know how to maximize out of it, right?
Yeah.
Especially on these AI tools. So
Yeah.
unless you keep practicing and learning from it, you would know. So
Great.
yeah, any other questions, anyone? Otherwise, Famka, thank you very
Yeah.
much. I think
You're
cool work.
welcome.
It is interesting, right? And what you've really thought is do not touch until you're not until you're sure, right, of what you want to use out of it as well. So every tool,
Yeah.
there's tools keep coming in, day out, every day, right? You're seeing a lot of tools coming, but then again, stop, pause, and think what you're actually focusing on, and then try to see tool best fits you as well. So thank you for joining in the Road to Riyadh community and the Experts Live community. We are here building a community to run by the community for the community. So appreciate
Great.
everyone being here. See you all next Thursday as well. We'll be having another expert speaker coming in, and hopefully we'll be seeing you from in Riyadh. All right. So cool. Any if you don't have any other question, I think Famka, she's got to jump into another call as well. We've got the feedback form here. Please do help to fill in. And also, we've provided some redemption codes for you all to get your Microsoft Learn badges. So please do click on those on the chat. And yep, thank you very much. And we'll be sending you all the information soon with regard to the certificate and recordings and so on. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.